Biden's going to go into this meeting trusting Xi Jinping as far as he can comfortably spit a rat.
That's one take on how the US president will enter his meeting with China's leader, Xi Jinping. Strategic policy analyst Michael Shoebridge warns there's a large trust deficit that's not going to be bridged when the two leaders come face-to-face on Wednesday. President Xi is heading to America for the 30th APEC summit, and he'll be holding a sideline meeting with Joe Biden. But how will the meeting play out as the war rages in the Middle East after Hamas launched its terror attack on Israel on October 7? The world is watching the conflict unfold in the Middle East, and Beijing has refused to condemn the Hamas atrocities. What message does the meeting send at this time?
Well, I think that's an excellent observation about one of the big strategic differences between the US and China. Xi Jinping is siding with Putin in his war in Ukraine, and China is encouraging Iran and its terrorist proxies Hezbollah and Hamas with the unfolding conflict we see in the Middle East. So China is desperately trying to portray the US as to blame for both the Putin's war in Ukraine and Hamas's war against Israel. And that is something that Joe Biden obviously cannot countenance. So that's going to play into this meeting, and it's not going to help have a warm and friendly dialogue.
It's been revealed Americans are more worried about the threats posed by China than they have been at any point since 1990. NPR is reporting that 58% of Americans believe China is a critical threat, according to a Chicago Council on Global Affairs survey. And President Biden has been accused of not understanding China's aggression.
China is more aggressive than they have been in decades, and they're a real threat to this country. And unfortunately, this administration and this president do not understand that. Their policy is not in the national interest from a national security point of view, certainly not from an economics point of view. So if you look at how they're talking of what they're going to accomplish in this meeting is, they're going to talk to them about fentanyl. Well, all the fentanyl in the United States comes through Mexico from China. They're going to talk about Ukraine. Well, the Ukraine war is being funded by China. They're going to talk about the Middle East. They say they're going to try to convince Xi Jinping that instability in the Middle East is not in China's interest. Well, of course it's in their interest. That's why they're paying for it. That's why they're bankrolling it.
The leaders are expected to discuss reopening military communication channels, fentanyl production and security tensions. Although the meeting is highly anticipated, there are low expectations it will produce major breakthroughs on some of the heated issues such as trade and Taiwan.